Hello and welcome to Okube, an organization building open source solutions for data intelligence. Today, we're launching a series of videos explaining how to build a Databricks Lakehouse using infrastructure as code with Laktory, the all-in-one solution for defining both data transformations and Databricks resources. If Terraform, Databricks Asset Bundles, and dbt had a child, it would probably be called Laktory. In this first episode, we explore how to set the foundation for Unity Catalog, including users management, Metastore creation, and Schemas definition. But before we do, if you want to ramp up your data and AI engineering game, make sure to like and subscribe. Before jumping right in, let's have a look at the big picture. In this architecture diagram, we have all the main components typically found in a Databricks Lakehouse, from users management to pipeline jobs. This first episode focuses on the left section and involves deploying resources to both the account and the workspace. From the catalog section of our Databricks account console, we find a Metastore called Lakehouse. We will create a new one called Demo. In the workspace sections, we find that some workspaces are associated with the existing Metastore, but Laktory Demo workspace has not been assigned to any Metastore. Heading over to the workspace, we see that it's completely empty. Only the Hive Metastore is listed. There is a single user having access and only default groups exist. Let's change that by deploying users and groups to the workspace. We will work from a Git repository that will be shared in the description below. First, make sure that Laktory is installed by checking the version. Then, get started by invoking the Quick Start command with the Unity Catalog template. At this point, you have a valid stack that could be deployed as is. However, in the context of this demo, we will customize it to ensure you have all the key components of a Unity Catalog setup. In this stack, we need to declare both account and workspace providers as resources will be deployed to both levels. This example uses an Azure client, but it could be replaced with any other supported authentication method. Make sure all expected environment variables are defined. We need to replace the workspace ID with the one found in the URL of our workspace. For our first deployment, we disable all resources except the groups. Laktory friends, Metastore admins, and workspace admins are the three groups we will be deploying. Let's go ahead and run our first deployment. As expected, our new groups have been added to the account. We can also validate that the groups have been assigned to the workspace as per our configuration file. Let's add some users to these groups. John and Jane Doe are assigned to Laktory friends. Cubic is a Metastore and workspace admin. In addition, user Olivier will be looked up and also assigned to workspace and Metastore admin groups. Similarly, we will also reference an existing service principal and assign it to our new groups. Its ID can be found from the account console. Let's deploy these users and principals. As expected, we now have our new users as members of the groups in the workspace. We are now ready to create the Metastore. Each Metastore must be assigned a storage location that will store all managed tables and other data. For the owner, we use the group Metastore admins that we created a few minutes ago. For the magic to happen, we need to assign the Metastore to the workspace. Declaring some grants at the root of the Metastore is also required to allow the creation of the catalogs and external locations. Finally, the configuration file declares data accesses that are required to set up external locations used by volumes. To keep things simple, we will start by deploying only the Metastore. The new Metastore is now available from the account console. It has also been assigned to our workspace, and in the workspace, we have access to main, the default UC catalog. As expected, there are no permissions set for the Metastore. Let's enable the ones we have in our config file. We now have the required grants to create our external data access. That looks good. Our storage credential is ready. For simplicity, this demo only includes the deployment to a single workspace, but the additional components for another workspace are available as comments. The next step is to create an external location that will be used to mount data from cloud storage as a volume. The provided credentials directly refer to the data access we created previously. We provide a location using a variable defined in the stack. Both the development and production locations are set, but only dev will be used for now. Let's deploy our external location. At this point, you should be able to browse the content of your storage. Let's head back to Laktory for the creation of catalogs and schemas. We define a dev and a prod catalog. Isolation mode is open, meaning that a catalog will be shared to all workspaces linked to the Metastore. Grants are defined both at the catalog and schema levels. Because the schemas are the same for both catalogs, they are defined in a separate file that can be reused. A Laktory schema is made available to all members of Laktory friends, while the sandbox schema is available to all account users. Let's deploy to Databricks. Sometimes deploying grants seems to confuse Terraform, as it needs to run SQL queries. Trying a second time usually does the trick. Great! We now have our catalogs deployed with their respective schemas and grants. Finally, we create a volume named landing inside the sources schema of our dev catalog. Again, we can easily set grants for different groups of users. With the volume now available, we can browse our storage files directly within the Catalog Explorer. That wraps up our demo on how to build a Lakehouse as code with Laktory. With users management in place, and key components of Unity Catalog, such as schemas and volumes deployed, we have a solid foundation for our Lakehouse. We hope you appreciated how easy it was to declare and deploy all the required components. In the next episode of this series, we will cover how to configure the workspace to provide a better and safer experience for our users. Make sure to subscribe to this channel to get notified when it will be available. Have you tried deploying Unity Catalog as code before? How was your experience? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.